Good morning. Today we are working on CO45. I can use a number line to identify solutions to an inequality. So we worked on those we just did CO45. I need to roll up to CO46. Sorry about that. Today we are working on CO46. I can solve inequalities with addition or subtraction. So remember that solving an inequality is very similar to solving an equation. We've worked on solving those equations with the one-step operations. So let's review that. Solve the following equations. N plus 6 equals 19. If I'm going to use the opposite operations, what would I do to solve for n? I would subtract. So I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. So I get n, 6 minus 6 is 0, and then 19 minus 6 is 13. What would I do for my next one? N plus 12 equals 20. Layla, what am I going to subtract from both sides, Layla? I'm going to subtract that 12 from both sides. 12 minus 12 zeros out, so n equals 20 minus 12, which is 8. This should be easy because we've done it. We're reviewing it. So I'm glad that you're remembering them. Let's look at our next one. N minus 5 equals 7. What's my opposite operation? Anna Mae. Add 5 to both sides. If I'm at the negative 5 on the number line and I add 5, it brings me to the 0. And then I have 7 plus 5, which is 12. And my last one, n minus 21 equals 40. Jimena. I'm going to add 21 to both sides. So minus 21 plus 21 gets me to the 0. 40 plus 21 is 61. So I'm glad some of us are like, oh, I totally know how to do this. Yay, we learned it well the last unit. So let's look now how we do that with inequalities. Similar, but different. So the difference between solving an inequality and solving an equation is that instead of getting the variable by itself and calling it a day, saying, oh, done, n equals 13, I've got my answer. Now we have to add in what we did yesterday and we have to graph it. So this is what that looks like. Let me erase so I can scroll up and you can see better. We have n plus 8 is less than 17. So we're going to treat it the same way for our one-step operation. So if it's plus 8, what do I need to do? Zelda?
You need to subtract out 8.
I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. So I get n, 8 minus 8 is 0, 17 minus 8 is 9. But is it equal? It's not equal. I have to look back up at what my inequality is. N must be less than 9. Because if n was 10, 10 plus 8 is bigger than 17. So n is any number that is less than 9. It could be 3. It could be 6. It could be 0. N could be any of those numbers less than 9. So now I have to graph it. What's my first step for graphing? Oh, I should see all hands up because we just covered this. What's my first step in graphing? Melanie? The number line. So I'm going to draw my number line with my 9 because n is less than 9. What's my second step, Liam? Thinking about what we did yesterday. First step was number line. Second step is the up and wrote down the circle. So I'm going to put a circle over my 9. Am I going to leave it open or am I going to color it in? Why would I leave it open? Because it doesn't have the equal sign. So I'm going to leave my circle open because it is not equal to 9. 9 plus 8 is 17, but it has to be less than 17. What's my third step? Zelda.
You have to have the arrow.
And which way am I going to put my arrow? How do you know I'm going to the left?
The arrow's pointing that way.
Less than goes to the left, and my numbers have to be less than 9, so I go to the left.
Please excuse the interruption. The field is off limits today. You can go on the pavement and the wood chips, but no playing on the field.
Muddy mess. We don't want that mud coming in the school. Let's look at our next one. N minus 4 is greater than or equal to 10. First thing I'm going to do is my one-step operation. So what do I do to get N by itself? Melanie? Yep. I add 4 to both sides. Very good. Minus 4 plus 4 gives us our 0. I bring down my inequality symbol. Greater than or equal to. And then I have 10 plus 4 is 14. So I have my inequality statement. N is greater than or equal to 14. Now I have to graph. Step 1. Connor. Draw my number line with my 14. Step 2. Callie.
A circle.
A circle. Is it going to be left open or am I going to fill it in? Oh, I hear a lot of people say fill it in. Why would I fill it in? Birthday girl Ruby. Because it can be equal. Very good, birthday girl. Third step. What's my third step? I've got my number line. I've got my circle. What do I need next, Madeline? The arrow. Which way do I want my arrow to point, Madeline? To the right. How do I know it's going to go to the right? Because it is greater than, and look, that greater than goes to the right. So you need all 3 steps on your paper. You need to have your equation. That's our first thing we do, and then we need all 3 steps for our graphing. Now it says the sum of a number and 9 is greater than 19. Oh my goodness, they're throwing in another previous objective on this. What do you think I have to do here, Melanie? Yeah, you have to write it out. They're giving us the verbal phrase. We have to write what that means. So the sum of a number and 9 is greater than 19. So we have a number, the sum is adding 9, and then greater than 19. Now we're at the same point we were at with the others. Now we're going to do our one-step operation. So if I'm adding 9, I'm going to subtract 9. 9 minus 9 gives me our 0. Oh, not equal to. Keep wanting to put the equal sign, but it is not. This is a greater than. 19 minus 9 is 10. Then I need to do my 3 steps. Number line with the 10. My circle, open or close. Open because there's no equal sign. My arrow, greater than, goes to the right, so my arrow goes to the right. Any questions? So this is all work that we've already done. We're just putting previous objectives together. I'm not teaching you anything new. We're just putting previous objectives together into a new objective, putting all of our steps into one place. If you have questions and you need to come up and want to go through it with me, that's totally fine. But I don't want anybody freaking out saying, oh my goodness, there's so much math that we're doing, because we've done every individual step. Now we're just putting it together. If you need to look back at previous objectives to remind you how to do it, you can do that. If you need to look at the table to know what difference means, do that. If you need to look at the table to know what less than means, look back at that objective to see what inequality symbol you need to put. There is a second page. On the second page, it has solve the inequality, graph your solution, show your work. It's the exact same thing. You're just doing that work. And all these ones on the right, you need to make sure that you put that verbal phrase into your inequality and then do the one step and graph it. On the bottom, it says write an inequality like those above with a variable to solve for using addition or subtraction that has the graph as its solution. So now instead of having to graph it, we have to write what that inequality would look like. So you start with your n and look at this graph. Look at which way the arrow is going. Is that arrow going to the left or to the right, Zelda?
To the left.
To the left, so I want it to be less than. Is it going to be just less than, or is it going to be less than or equal to? Look at our circle. Amanda? Less than or equal to, because it's a closed circle, it's filled in. So we need that equal sign. And what number does it need to be less than or equal to, Layla? 2, because this is right at the 2. That's what it's asking for. So you're going to do this one on your own. Do your own inequality statement based on the graph. So you're going to start off with your n. You're going to decide, is it less than or greater than? Is it equal to? And you're going to put what the number is. Okay? Any questions on today's assignment? So go ahead and work quietly. Remember that our math packets are due next Tuesday, so if you finish with this assignment, work on your math packet. If you are watching this at home, I hope you are well. I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.